Murdaugh, Death in the Family, available now for streaming on Hulu. Our ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance audience, is returned on Hulu, inspired by, yes, shocking actual events. Streaming now. Murdaugh, Death in the Family. Patricia Arquette and our guest, Jason Clarke, here on the Rich Eisen Show. And so when you take on this role, do you watch the documentary first? Do you listen to the podcast? Or you just say, I'm going to go at this from the page and just my sensibility as an actor? How do you handle this?
Yeah, no, I watched a lot first, particularly the trial. There's so much out there, Rich. There's so much discussion of, like, it's like you sports guys. There's criminal detectives breaking down his testimony, you know,
Yes.
and analyzing it beat by beat. Stop right there. You see that look where he's looking down at the thing that says this.
Yes.
You know, there's homicide detectives. I loved it. It was fascinating. You know, there's a wealth of stuff. But, you know, I did kind of think about whether I could really get to, you know, 265 pounds, redheaded, you know, 6'4", South Carolinian. You know, it's just like I think, well, you know, you can't have too much hubris. So it was you know, there you go. Yeah,
Now, you actually put the weight on for this, though, right?
Well, I put on like 40 pounds because it was like I knew I was going to have to get at least to 220. I was 190 when I started. I just finished another show where I was in shape, and I wore a suit there for the belly and all that, but if I'm just wearing that with nothing up here and no prosthetics,
yes,
it's going to look silly, you know. And I never want to be silly. And I want to do the man justice in a good way too, and do as well as do the story and, you know, and you know, believable. So, I started eating to put it on and carry it, and it had kind of the added benefit. Yes, it does make me in the suit look believable, and I look puffy and overweight and unhealthy because I was, but it gives you that idea of just carrying that much, of consuming that much, of needing to just eat and drink and sugar and all the stuff that I'd done to get there.
Dude, so like pizzas and what do you got?
Well, I was in France, so I started off with good stuff, pastas, you know, cheeses, whatever, and then it doesn't come along because your metabolism still burns. So then, you go, you end up by the end, it's like the 2 a.m. cold pizza in the fridge, you know. That I'm kind of like, you know. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
By the way,
it's not too bad at breakfast either, you know.
What does it say about us that he's talking our language right now?
Well, I mean, you know.
Come on, you're in shape. You look good, you know.
I'm trying. By the way, I'm fishing for that compliment, so thank you for delivering that. I appreciate that. But and then you had to take it off for
I had to
what?
take it off. I took off as much as I could during it because for the trial, you know, he's dropped a lot of weight because he's off the drugs. He's been through rehab. He's in prison. You know, he's actually he's exercising. He's working out. You know, he's like in those Rocky movies. He's down there, pumping out. No, but he, funnily enough, he looked stronger and better as the trial went on. He looked more and more human. He found, you know, a tangent back again, and so I just stopped. You know, so I was angry eating to put it on. I was angry taking it off. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It was like I literally just picked a date with the show record, and I said, it takes me about 2 weeks before you'll see results. And I got off as much as I could.
Heck of a cast, man, for sure.
It was a great cast, wasn't it?
Patricia Arquette, Brittany Snow, and your dad is played by Gerald McRaney. He's been here before.
Has he?
Telling stories about working with James Garner and being, you know, on Deadwood, which is one of our favorite shows here. That had to be a blast working with him.
He was, I got to tell you, that man is a straight up beast, you know. No, but he really was. There's a couple of days there where he admonishes me and he admonishes all the boys, you know.
Yeah.
You needed someone who's the head of that family, the head of that clan, the patriarch. And Gerald, you know, he's done everything and he's still fearless. He still comes in prepared, throws it down.
Yeah.
You know, and like he has his cigar in his chair at the end of work. I mean, he's like, he's a lovely, lovely man. And I send my love out to him if you're out there, Jerry.
Yeah, he really. He told a story about working on the Rockford Files with James Garner, you know, back in the day. And that's it's all cool. We got again Murdaugh, Death in the Family, available now for streaming on Hulu. And obviously, this gentleman, if you will, if I may, again, calling somebody who served 2 life terms and now has 40 extra years of crime. So this character, if you will, this guy, he's not the first real life guy you've played in your career.
No.
Completely on the opposite end of the spectrum. You played Jerry West.
I played Jerry West.
Winning Time.
Yeah.
Now, how did you prepare for that role? When you
I read his book.
You did?
I read his book like 4 times.
Right.
I listened to his book even more. You know, you watched a lot of the footage you can get hold of. some of the early commercials that he did way back in the day, the basketball stuff.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff of Jerry out there. I mean, Jerry famously didn't like my portrayal of it, and how did that hit you? It was upsetting. It was not that he didn't like it. I don't mind the joke. So it upset me to think that I'd upset him, because I really loved who he was and what he'd done and what he stood for and all the things that he brought. And there was a kind of a style, waver within that. I mean, I thought we were making, a John C. Reilly, a much more a slightly heightened version of what this 80s poster pin-up world was, not a docudrama. And,
right.
But that said, I took everything from his book, and a lot of the criticisms that some people seem to have was like, didn't you read Jerry's book and his dark heart and the hole he had and the rage he had and the golf club breaking, it's like he did break his golf clubs famously, and he talked about it in the book. It's all there. I might have raised it up a little bit, but I wanted to make him memorable and cool and exciting, and that those, like the Testarossa and the 930 Turbo posters and all the pictures of these great players we all had on our walls.
I did love the show.
So did I.
The show was fantastic, and Jeff Perlman has sat in this chair.
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I just think some of the West family was upset at the portrayal of his anger wasn't always so flashpoint in that regard.
It wasn't so flashpoint, but when you've got, I mean, look, I can get that. I texted his son when he passed away.
You did?
I didn't want to comment or anything publicly, but
of course.
And he sent me the loveliest text back, and he always hoped, and we hoped to get together at some point,
right,
with Jerry. And my answer, because I love this, my answer to that is like, I just wanted, you're bringing the heart on the sleeve to the few scenes that I have as Jerry West.
Yes, sir.
That show was not about Jerry, but I wanted to make him memorable and dynamic and, one of the baddest asses around in that business that just had such a passion to win and to be the best and succeed and bring the best out of his players that it upset him, which is what he talked about a lot, and what he's carrying. So, yes, I maintained the rage a little bit too much, but it was like, I had X amount of scenes to bring Jerry's passion, which I thought was deeper and stronger than anybody else.
Well, the thing that I also heard on the flip side about the complete accuracy was his, I guess, inability at times to watch the live games, that he would just be in the hallways.
We had some scenes of those too,
in the basement of the bowels, if you will, of the arenas.
Yeah, and he refused to go to Boston. He never stepped foot there again,
God, what was the line about the Celtics in it? That was, what was that again?
Fuck Boston. Oh, you teed me up, mate, and I brought up the big club there, I hope. You know what I mean?
The one, but I do recall that. No.
Oh, dude, you asked for the driver. I gave it to you,
No, it was.
You wanted a chip shot.
It was something about about a priest and the Celtics or something like that. I should have looked this up beforehand.
There were some great
lines about how he just hated the Celtics. And the scenes, obviously, where Michael Chiklis playing Red Auerbach were priceless.
I'll never forget seeing Chiklis in the full get-up. And him coming out to me, looking at me, oh, my God, look at you. And I'm like, oh, my God, look at you. And he was just, the cigar. Because my first job in America was in Rhode Island, was about, loosely based on the Bolger brothers, and I was playing, Billy Bolger, and so I grew up in that Boston world. I played Ted Kennedy. I know that world and love that world immensely, and the people and the heart on the sleeve thing, and there was just, that whole, I read all those books. I read Wilt Chamberlain's books. I read, Red's book. I read, the great, arguably the greatest, when you argue about who's the greatest, the winningest basketballer ever, the center for the Celtics.
Yeah, Bill Russell.
Bill Russell. I mean, and I love the way that Bill Russell just still puts, count them, dude, count them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well,
whatever you want to argue about, it's just like, you didn't beat me. It's just like, and I love that, and there was that element of, yes, I was a boy and a fan of this world, not just of these players, but of this time and this representation, like, you know, the Testarossa, the Miami Vice. The world was larger. We were kids. America was like, dude, as a foreigner, America was like, man, I got to get there, you know? Look what's going on over there. Magic.
Yeah.
You know?
It was great, and obviously I thought it was a superb show that I really wished had more time than it was allotted by.
I wanted a bit more of, you know, like
all of it.
Of like Step Brothers, and a bit more of like, you know, a bit more of
John C. Reilly.
You know, John C. Reilly. I mean, I used to joke with John, you know, I mean, you know, because you've seen Talladega Nights and all that, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I used to joke like pre-scenes, you know, with the pre-roll, we're getting ready to start. You know, I'd have a little bit of light, like, you know, booking a foursome on the, you know, the Beverly Hills golf course, you know, because that's where he used to play, and I'd book it under the name Mike Honcho. So I'd be in there, no, Honcho. No, for four of us. No, it's 7 a.m. because John's about to walk in and do a scene with me, and the crew would just be cracking up. Honcho, Mike, you want me to spread your butt cheeks, dude? You know, no. Because, you know, I'm taking the scene out of Talladega Nights.
Of course.
I love
exactly
John
what you're
that,
doing.
you know.
And so what was the line you were saying that...
yeah, Paul Revere should have slept in.
Yeah,
they should burn this place to the ground. Yeah.
I know, he should have. Yeah, he should.
And by the way, Chickless would take that personally in real life.
No.
The fact he's been on this show and he's talking about how, you know, my name's on the parquet floor.
On the parquet.
He really meant
but that's what I mean. These guys wear their hearts on their sleeve, and Jerry in his book talks about it so clearly, so passionately, and that deep hole in his heart.
Yeah.
And that's what I was after. It's funny because you know, Murdaugh was a Gamecocks fan. So I started going down the Gamecocks thing. I had no idea about that song.
Yes.
Yeah, was their song.
So you learned all about SEC football from this?
College sports, man. I mean, America, you know, look, I've always loved that here. You know, America loves its sports. It really does.
So what is your sport?
Ooh, I'm a big soccer fan. I'm a big Arsenal fan.
You can call it football. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I'm a big tennis fan. And now it's cricket season in Australia.
So who's your tennis player?
Who is it? I mean, John McEnroe was my dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the guy. I mean, I played a lot of tennis myself.
Sure.
And I started off loving Borg and the cool demeanor, but then along came John Mac. And he's just like, I used to think, if I saw that dude on a court, I think I'm going to I'm going to clean the court with his ass. You know what I mean? This skinny little dude with whatever. And then you'd watch him and the way he served and changed his game and his touch and his magician. And he's like, and all those cool dudes, you know, with the headbands. There's a famous photo of them. They were suave dudes back in the day, weren't they? Dressing well, hanging out.
I'm from Staten Island, New York, so to see a guy from Queens do that, you know, back in the day.
He was, you know, he spoke to that tennis ball.
Yeah, Johnny Mac.
It did everything. And you go, you know, and I remember being heartbroken when he lost. He lost in 5 sets to Lendl at the French Open in '84 when he lost his. Because there was one thing my mum would let me sit up and watch. Was the tennis in Australia with this small little thing, you know, trying to get a thing. And I'd sit up and I'd watch, you know, I watched the Borg McEnroe 5-setter. And then I watched years later, I watched him lose to Lendl after he was 2 sets to love up. In a break, I think, in the third, if I remember.
Jason,
and then he lost somehow.
You and I are a similar age, and my parents would
43.
never... Yeah, right, exactly. My parents would never let us watch TV while having dinner.
Yes, except for
the Super Saturday at the U.S. Open, we would wheel a black and white television in to watch the men's semifinal wrapped around the women's final of the U.S. Open because my mom loved Jimmy Connors. Super Saturday. Loved Jimmy Connors.
I saw that him and Jimmy, the kid. They made up finally. Remember
Aaron Crickston?
Aaron Crickston. I read they made it because Jimmy disappeared. He didn't talk nobody. He's not out there doing anything. He's just off living his life.
Just being Jimmy friggin' Connors.
And he was the original.
Yeah.
Take it to the camera and pump it.
When he did that in the old, you know, Louis Armstrong Stadium at the U.S. Open. Yeah, so I'll just go here with you, too. I think I could get a point off Carlos Alcaraz right now.
Oh, God. Yep.
I think just give me one day.
See, I fancy myself too. I fancy my, and I'd probably get a point of a Carlos more than I'd go Sinner. Sinner's a bit Sinner's a bit more predictable. He's a bit more.
He's still a little, but Alcaraz can get to everything.
Alcaraz can make
now.
a mistake.
That's what I'm saying. And I also found this out. Did you know, Jason Clarke? Did you know that if you hit your opponent on the fly with a serve, it's your point?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you know, my shoulders. I used to have a big serve and volley game. My shoulder's not the same as what it was, but I've started playing again.
Okay.
I mean, you know what they're teaching? They're teaching that Sinner. He's able to hit the backhand with an open stance.
Yes.
Which I can't do because it's just so, it's always get the foot across and lean into it. But he's hitting it with such power from the hip, like a Tyson, body shot there, and just ripping it. I think they're both phenomenal. I went to the US Open for the first time this year, and I saw Djokovic play Taylor Fritz.
Oh, that was a good one, man.
It almost became a great match,
right.
If Fritz had got there. And I've insane respect for Djokovic. At that age, to be pounding out against those guys at that level and facing... Because you see that you play with these kids nowadays. There's a kid I train with, and he's a ranked junior, and they're hitting the ball with such venom and spin on their wrist.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, stop it. Stop it. Just give me a slice, damn you. Come on.
Jason, the number of people I've mentioned this Alcaraz thing to here it started the same way that you did, which is looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, but I'm weighing it up, dude.
You're the first one to say, I'm with you.
I'm with you.
I could do it too.
It might take me a while, though.
Fantastic.
It really might take me a while.
Fantastic.
But, dude, he came out... with the sleeveless shirt, ready to go. I mean, they are turning it up, those two.
He's unreal. Him versus Sinner, I will watch anytime for sure. Murdaugh, Death in the Family, available now for streaming on Hulu. Check it out. The Last Frontier, all episodes are available right now for streaming on Apple TV. And A House of Dynamite on Netflix is awesome. We've talked about it with Jared Harris. We've talked about it with Tracy Letts, and you're awesome in it as well.
Thank you.
And I suggest everybody to see that. Just don't do it as I did, which is watching it before you go to sleep. Don't do that.
Yeah, no. Don't do it. No.
Oh, my God.
Don't watch Murdaugh before you go to sleep either.
That's true. Don't watch anything that you're doing, pretty much. It's great to have you here, meet you. Come back anytime you want.
Lovely to talk to you, mate.
Right back at you. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app, 12 to 3 Eastern.